All right. Well, welcome everyone to Monday Night Team Time. It is Monday, August 30th already. My name is Dee Corchin, and really glad that you guys are all on with us tonight. We're going to have a fun night of some share from Lori Cole, really helping us to know how to best support coaches on our team, whether they're new coaches, existing coaches. We've been doing a lot of promotion on how to really spread our mission by by adding new coaches, and you guys have done a great job. But a lot of times we're not sure what to do once a new coach is added, or maybe that even holds us back because we're not sure how we are going to lead someone else. So we will spend some time on that in just a few minutes. Just wanted to go ahead and talk kind of about the month, because we're finishing the month of August already, and one more day in the month. So hopefully you are going to be finishing strong. Some good things that we know is that this month shipping got back, pretty much back to normal with Optavia. So they really came through with that, with getting us back on track. Fuelings are starting to come back. And like I said, starting next month, September, October, all the months till the end of the year, it's like a fast track for these fuelings to come back. So be watching for that. I know some of your favorites and your clients' favorites. So that's going to be great, barring no unforeseen circumstances in terms of supply chain or any of that. So that is good. So good things are happening, you guys. We had already with our coach incentive, we've had almost double the amount of coaches join our organization this month. There are 43 people who have joined our organization this month as coaches. So if you are one of those individuals, welcome to the call tonight. And you guys, as a team, we have welcomed 413 new clients to our organization this month. So that is on par with one of our highest months. But we also know that some clients have been moving orders for various reasons. Maybe give me a 1 in the comment if you've had at least one client postpone an order this month. I mean, yeah, look at that. So it's all happening. And there's a lot of different reasons for that. We know that this was one of the first full summers since, 2020. And a lot of people had vacations planned and things, and it kind of gone sideways on their plan. We also know that some people had more fuelings than they needed based on what some of the shipping things were. It's all expected to level out. The most important thing for us to do is to be navigating. Judy, I see you say, and you have a former client coming back. That is one thing I was going to tell you, is that what we're seeing on our level is an incredible amount of clients that are still on program, an incredible amount of clients that are ordering, an incredible number of clients who are coming on new. So the one thing is to always keep an open mind and remember that although some are changing orders, et cetera, not all are. But one thing we've seen is a greater number of postponements than cancellations. And when somebody postpones, that means they are in the game. They are still in the game. This is still important to them. They have not abandoned it. For whatever reason, they've made a reason to extend it. So it's important for us to stay in touch with those individuals, to help to try to reawaken why they started this journey, be with them, come alongside them on it. And then, like Judy said, it is a perfect time to be reaching to former clients, because as the new school year is starting, the summer comes to a close, a change in seasons, many, many people are ready to come back on board, but they need us to be reaching out to them. So I'm going to have you write down, well, actually, I want to share a little story first with one of our coaches, and then I'm going to have a quote that I want you to write down afterwards. So Vicki Meister is going to share. Vicki has kind of had her world go sideways since kind of before convention and after convention. So kind of got distracted with some stuff in her personal life, as well as clients changing orders. So Vicki, kind of bring us up to speed on terms of, how you've been navigating that, your actions, your mindset, because some stuff we talked about, I think would be really applicable for the team. Oh, you're muted. You're muted. Vicki, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Thanks for inviting me to share this. This is a little vulnerable for me, guys. So it's one thing to tell Dee, we're having a casual chit chat. It's another thing to share with all of you, but my money says I'm probably not the only one on here that's had a tough month of August. So for whatever the reasons, and yes, Dee's right. I had a lot of sideways things happen in my personal life, but for the first time for 8 consecutive months, I made executive director. So this is the first month I haven't since that. So as much as rank isn't like super, super important to me, it did kind of catch me. It did. It stopped and made me think. It's like, okay. So I had to think about it. And I'm going to draw a tennis analogy for you. So if you're not a tennis player, hang with me. If you are, or you've ever watched it, you'll follow. If my partner and I were outmatched and our opponents were killing us in the first set, they were up 5-love, and we had a bunch of routes we could take. We could quit. We could say, I don't care, they're better than we are, let's just not worry about it. Let's just let it go, let's whatever. But one of the things that we often did, if we were really in that muckety muck at the end, was to be able to say, let's just pay attention here at the end. Let's just finish out this set. Connect that to finish out the month in Optavia. Let's just finish out, just play our game, and then let's reevaluate. And one of the things that I actually love about Optavia most of the time is that on the first of every month, we get to start fresh. Everybody on this call is a coach on the 1st of September. And so we all get to have that fresh start. And even though sometimes you're like, oh, I was really doing well, it's a fresh start. And so this September, I am grateful for a fresh start, which is kind of what we would do going into the second set. Let's talk. Hey, guys, I'd say to my partner, come on, let's figure out, hey, she's got a great forehand. Let's keep it away from her. So I had to think about what can I do? Because I know September is going to be a little busy as well. 2 things I knew I could do, because my 2 goals are to support my clients and to offer this incredible, amazing program to as many people who want to know about it. So 2 things I felt I could do. One was to make sure I was in good contact with my clients. So I do have a chart that I keep so I know whom I have spoken to, who has signed up on my Calendly page, and who I need to reach out to. And I also knew that I could do 3 posts a day. I knew I couldn't do a good job of reaching out to a bunch of other people and starting a whole lot of new conversations, because frankly, I was not going to be able to take really good care of them right now. But I can do those things. And I can offer that to the people who want to hear about it. And so I know I can start fresh. I actually get a couple days head start on that, but I get to start fresh going into September. And that in itself is really kind of a blessing. So I may have left something off there, Dee, that we talked about, but I know you'll help me, or you'll fill it in. But the best thing I can say to you is, look, life happens and months happen where you think, what the heck? So what can you do? What's your goal and what can you do? That's what we say to our clients.
Absolutely. That's so good, Vicki. Thank you. There's so many little nuggets in there in what she said. The one thing I love, Vicki, was when you said you would say to your opponent, let's just finish this game. What you didn't do was walk off the court and go, well, forget it. We're losing anyway, right? And that's, I've been coaching for 10 years and I've been mentoring coaches for 10 years. And I just want you to challenge yourself when you get into places of discouragement, that when we get in discouragement, that the human tendency is, well, if I kind of let my foot off the gas, if I don't try and I don't make my rank or I don't make my goal, then it doesn't hurt as bad as if I really went all in and didn't reach it. So a natural tendency is that we can back off because it doesn't hurt as much. But the reality is we want to keep playing our game. We want to keep doing what we do and keep focused on. I really encourage you 2 things. Stay clear on your dreams and your goals. I want you to have them written out. There's a reason why you do this, right? And there is somebody out there. We can always help one more person. So stay clear on your own story and why you are a coach, right? And always lead with that heart. There is evidence that, like, the way your business is right now, a lot of it is a reflection of what your mindset and your actions were for the past 2 or 3 months before this. So pay attention to where you were. Were you on vacation? Were you distracted? Were you sick? Was somebody in your family sick? But pay real attention to where your mindset is right now, because right now it is what's showing up in your business September, October, November, how you're going to finish out. So we want to be consistent in those actions and maybe even thinking new things, right? Like Vicki was saying, I could keep a chart, make sure I'm being consistent here. I could do 3 posts a day. I don't know that you were strategically doing that with a strategic strategy. I know somebody who's joining a new business, BNI networking group. Somebody else said, you know what, I'm going to join a Bible study just to meet more people. So here's the quote. All right. I want you to write this down, this quote. The quote is oh gosh, where did I write it? Oh, the person with the most flexibility in their thinking stands the greatest chance of success. The person with the most flexibility in their thinking stands the greatest chance of success. And that is from Helen Irwin. Helen has written our transformational development leadership program for Optavia. She's a leadership and entrepreneur coach. But basically, I've taken learned from her. She basically says the way we grow, and it doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur as an Optavia coach or working with Apple, it's all about pivoting, right? It's all about pivoting and how do you approach the market, right? But we've got to be visible and out there. So I hope that's encouraging to you. Vicki, I hope you saw those great comments coming in. I think those analogies were really good. I'll say that quote one more time, and I'll also put it when I post the recording of this. The quote is, the person with the most flexibility in their thinking stands the greatest chance of success. We could really apply that to anything in life, right? The more open-minded we are, the more versatile we are, the more agile we are, the more successful we're going to be at anything. So very, very good. All right. Well, I'm going to let you turn it over to Lori Cole. Been excited to have you share tonight, Lori. So go ahead.
Really, thank you. Guys, I love Vicki's message. It was my first month coaching. After the month was over and all the numbers disappear, I called Dee and I said, I think something's wrong because all my work is gone. She was like, no, it's a shift. What can you create? Not that it's gone. And so I love that. I've held on to that now for 5 years. So tonight we're going to talk about supporting coaches. And I love this so much because I just have a huge heart for walking next to people. I believe that stepping into coaching is a way of securing your own health journey. And we're here because we're building a business and we see something a little bigger, but I think every single client has the potential to help somebody in their world. And so as we think about stepping into coaching, it can be really scary. So I'm going to break this into 3 parts. The first part we're going to talk about is how supporting coaches begins with us. And then I'm going to interview a fellow coach, and then we're going to give some practical steps there at the end. So stepping into coaching it begins with us. We have to learn to tell our story in a way that is quick, but also in a way that's powerful. And I encourage you to practice your story, maybe with your mentorship, but try to get your story down to about a minute. That's super impactful. So people can go, yeah, that's me too. It's relatable. The second thing about supporting coaches is I want you to think about how you view Optavia. Are you being Optavia or are you doing Optavia? And I think that huge mindset shift for me was a large one. I'm not, I'm living it. I am trying to be leading with my own health. I am trying to be authentic, not perfect, but authentic and congruent in my Facebook and my social media. And that's not perfection. Please don't misunderstand, but I'm leading with my heart, and where my heart is for my health, because Optavia has changed every bit of my life. It's changed my career path. It's changed how I view my health. It's changed my habits. The next thing that I feel like starts with us is leaning into our mentorship. And Being a new coach, I was terrified. I was like, what if I am going to fail at this miserably? Or worse yet, what if I'm successful, right? Then what? And so I really spent a lot of time with Dee, and I still do. I still spend a lot of time with Dee because I learn from her every single call, and that's really important. So leaning into your mentorship, and lastly is being in your life book and doing all the things that we teach our clients to do. I send my clients a message every Sunday, and it has something that I'm learning about in the life book for that week. And so I just encourage you. So supporting coaches starts right here in the middle of your heart. So I met this awesome coach last week. We did a tips call, which is another good thing to do, right, in supporting coaches. And I just couldn't let it rest. I thought I've got to get this fella in front of our team and talk about it. But everything that that I just mentioned, Chris embodies. So I am going to let him, Chris, if you'll come off mute there for a second. But first, you guys, let me just tell you this. Chris is busy, man. He's got like 3 jobs. When we were going through his tips and celebration call, he was like, yeah, I'm at this and I'm at that. And he can tell you all those things in a second. But I was like, you know why he's a great coach? Because busy people get things done. We don't ever count out busy people. And his personal success, though, he's lost over 100 pounds. He's like a walking billboard. So I'm going to ask him some questions that he shared with me in our tips call last week, just a celebration and whatever. I don't even know what we called it, Chris, but we met. So first, I want you to tell this story because it's super interesting about how you kind of started out as a client and then your mindset changed a little bit.
Yeah. So thank you, Lori. Thanks for letting me be a part of this. It's an honor and a privilege. I'm a new coach, but it's exciting to be talking to you guys today. Yeah, when I first signed up for Optavia, it was the end of December 2020, coming into January. And I had called a friend of mine who was coaching. I knew that he was coaching, and so I said, hey, I want to do this. I'm excited about it. I need to lose some weight. I need to get healthy. But I don't really want to coach. I don't want to be on phone calls. I don't want to be on Zoom meetings. I'm busy. Just tell me what to do, and I will let you know if I need help. And so that was my attitude going into it. And of course, as most people's story goes, as I began to see results and see success through the system, people would come up to me and say, hey, what are you doing? Can you help me do that? And my answer for the first several months was, no, I can't. I go talk to somebody else. I probably sent about 10 clients to other coaches, just kind of like, go talk to them, because I wasn't interested in coaching. And I honestly had no model for a coach, because by my own choice, I had asked my coach not to coach me. And so the idea of coaching was pretty daunting to me, just because I didn't even really have a model going into it. And I will say, today I hit 113 pounds lost. And so I'm pretty excited about that. I'm closing in on my first goal. But if you would have asked me in January, I mean, the idea of losing 100 was like a lofty goal. The idea of actually, losing 113, 120, I mean, that was like, yeah, sure, I want to go to the moon, but like, that's not, it's not going to happen. But it's really cool to be closing in on that. So anyway, thank you, Lori.
Good job. Good job. Isn't that amazing, you guys? So when Chris shared that with me, I automatically thought about all the people who keep me at arm's length. And I thought, I'm going to get in there. So I challenge you guys to find your new coaches like that. Hey, here's what I love about what Chris said. You didn't hear anything about, well, I don't want to get roped into this and selling fuelings and all that. You didn't hear that. You heard him, how his mindset shifted into an open mindset toward what we do. So Chris, I want you to talk a little bit about that moment that you were awakened and what that looked like for you.
Yeah. I mean, it was really 3 things. The first thing being, I started realizing all of these people I was passing up to be able to coach, and the income I was missing out of. That's a practical thing. I'm like, oh, I don't even know how this works, but I know there's something involved if you coach someone. So I knew that opportunity was there, but I also was kind of becoming convicted about just handing people off, and they would come to me and say, hey, I'm inspired by your story. And I was flattered, but at the same time, just like, well, go talk to them because I'm too busy to help you. And so I wanted to be able to help these people. And then thirdly, the third thing that really started shifting in my mind, which I thought was an epiphany, but really is everyone's experience, I'm realizing was, now that I'm nearing in on my target, I want to keep it off. And while right now I don't feel like I need an extra layer of motivation to keep it off, I know at some point I will. And so I started looking ahead and going, I need that accountability. And so that was the third reason that I wanted to do that. But really the second reason was the big one. And the weekend that I had actually scheduled a coaching consultation with Frank Davis, who's my mentor, wasn't my initial coach. I don't want to throw him under the bus, but he's my business mentor for sure. That weekend I had scheduled a call with him already. And I literally had 4 people call me or text me out of the blue saying, how can I get on Optavia? Please help me. And, so it was just really a no-brainer. So I think those 3 things, and combined with the number of people that were reaching out, was really what made me, I initially said, I don't want to be on Zoom calls. And yet here I am talking to all you guys on a Zoom call. It's kind of ironic. So
Thanks, Chris. Hey, tell us if you could give one piece of advice to new coaches about stepping in, what one piece of advice that new coaches are maybe afraid to ask or don't know that the mentors should know, what would that be?
I think, well, what I would tell coaches, what I've been telling myself as a new coach, is that just like the plan works, if you're consistent with it, consistent hard work over time is going to produce results. It's going to produce fruit. And I think I'm new to this, but that's kind of my motto going into this as well, is being consistent. You don't have to be perfect, but you do got to be consistent. And like what Vicki was saying, here are the things I can do, and I can do those things consistently. And over time will yield results. And I think that's huge. The other thing I think that, for me, I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't even really have a great model, again, by my own choice of what coaching looked like. But my advice would be is just help people. If you're there to help people, they know that. And it never feels like sales when you're really just trying to help people. And that's your real intention and your real goal. And that's what I've found so far, and hope to keep that mentality, keep that same motivation. So
great. You guys, have you so enjoyed meeting Chris? That awesome. I was so impressed. Thank you, Chris, for sharing your story. So when we think in our last, look, Chris, you're blowing up the chat there. In our last couple of minutes, I want to just share some practical steps for supporting coaches. And these are some things that have worked for me, and you probably have more too. And the first shift for me was I'm such a performer. So for me to shift when I'm talking to new coaches about what they want instead of what I want is a huge shift. So I encourage you as mentor coaches to learn how to ask some questions surrounding what your coaches want. And they might not even know what they want yet. So it's about awakening. It's truly about awakening. One of the things that Dee does with me is she helps me dream a little bit. And she's like, well, if you could do this, what would it be? Who would you become? And as a mentor coach and as a coach, that's the biggest thing, is who am I going to become? Because really, Optavia, you've heard us say it, and Dee says it a lot, is about personal growth, and you're going to lose some weight. So we're going to be better versions of ourselves, and we're going to lose weight. So it's all awesome together. Listen to your coaches, ways to encourage them when they do something great. You guys, we just celebrate where they are, and we ask questions, and we figure out how to go deeper and be bolder and be more brave. We make time for our coaches' health journeys. So we support coaches by making time for them, and we don't let them slip out of client status. We're concerned about how they're doing. And so I think another thing that we can do to support coaches is to model. One of the things that I didn't ask Chris about, but he does this, is he and Frank do health assessments together, and he listens in. And then Chris has led his first one the other day. And then probably what happened, I'm guessing, is that they debriefed after and talked about it, and then they move forward from there. And I think that if we can have an open mindset where we're not judging, we're just kind of training and listening and adding, and we really are doing the model of linking arms and partnering together. I think if we really model that well, then we're training that duplicity that we want. One of the things that I probably, when I was a new coach, is I talked too much on my calls instead of asking more questions or listening better, because I was nervous. I was thinking, what if I don't know the answer? I should talk right over this part because I don't know the answer. I don't know all the answer, right? I mean, I'm sure we've all been there. And I think when we don't know the answer, that vulnerability in that moment is, I don't know, but we're going to figure it out. That's all I know. And I think we could support our coaches by being able to say that we don't have all the answers. So I think in our own businesses, another way to support our coaches is to stay above the line. Inevitably, there's going to be a client who's like, I want to come to you because you're a coach and I had a coach, but that coach didn't coach me. We've all heard that and been there, and we just want to model staying above the line. We turn them back to their original coach. We hope that they can work it out. We support them. We still love them, but we stay above the line in our business. We attend trainings, and obviously you do because you're here. One of the hard things for me to do to support my coaches is not be a hero coach. A lot of times you will know the answer, but it's really more important that we train our coaches to know the answers. So we show them where to find the answers, and we help, we just serve with our whole heart. I think it's important to support our coaches by growing personally, a better version of ourselves, and to love them with open arms. I'm going to leave you with a quote. I love that Dee did that. The English teacher in me, my heart was quite happy. But I'm going to leave you with a quote too, and then I'm going to turn it back over to Dee. Here's my quote. Leadership is about making others better as a result of your presence and making sure that impact lasts in your absence. It's about building a team that lasts, that can run without you. So Chris, thank you. Dee, thank you so much for your time. I hope this is valuable to you. And I love how you're blowing it up for Chris. That's awesome. We're so excited. Thanks, Dee.
You're welcome. Thank you, Lori. And welcome, Chris. I started hearing about you, and I'm so glad that you said yes to coaching. And man, what an impact, right? In the organization. And if I understood, it was just also your coach wasn't that active. So the fact that your mentorship line, right? That's what we do, is we can reach up in the mentorship line. So, so congratulations. Lots of comments blowing up for both you and for Lori. And really, I think Lori, so much of what you've heard her say was was simplicity, being authentic, being a good listener, right? It's very similar to what we do with our clients, right? And that quote you said at the end, Lori, is so applicable for our clients too, right? Our job is, what we want to do is to empower them and not be the heroes. So, as we finish out the month, I just encourage you to stay true to what you know, and keep in action. I've always had a theory that, I always want to put my head on the pillow on the last day of the month saying, you know what, I didn't leave any stone unturned. I really went and reached to everybody that I could, right? Every idea that came to mind. And one thing I had meant to say, hopefully you saw, I did a video last week about inspiration and taking time for ourselves, making sure we're inspiring ourselves so that we can inspire others. But I already forgot the quote. The one thing we want to do is stay out of self-judgment. So when things aren't going well, right? Or if you ever hit a place of discouragement, very often we can go into a critical mindset, and we go into a critical mindset of, I should be further along. This shouldn't be happening. I'm not good enough. We can think that with bringing on new coaches, but anytime the brain is in a state of being critical, it cannot be creative. It cannot be creative. And we want our brain to be in a creative state. A creative state means it's creating neural pathways to start to create a new path to get to our goal, right? The one with the greatest flexibility in their thinking is the one with the greatest chance of success. So encourage you always to stay in touch with your mentor, always to be having real conversations, real authentic conversations with your mentor, and also to stay connected to the system. Coaches that are connected on a weekly basis into our calls also have the better success and better mindset. Right after this, we have the 8 o'clock call, the client community call. We want to be inviting your clients to participate. That's on healthy surroundings. And then the 8:30 call tonight is on building your team by adding more coaches. So perfect tee up for that call. We will not do a call next Monday night. It is Labor Day. We will not have team time. They are doing the 8 o'clock and 8:30 calls, but I'm choosing not to have a call for our team so that you can enjoy the holiday with your family. So thank you, Lori. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Vicki, for participating. We'll end this now. I'll see you guys over on the client community call. Thanks so much. Bye.